Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Cosmic Blessings podcast. In today's episode, I want to talk about radical courage. That can mean a lot of different things to different people, but I have really had to embrace this whole idea of radical courage, especially in this last year. This is also the name of a book that I co-authored with 50 other people that released recently. So it's July, actually. Oh my gosh, it released in July, and it is now August. And in my story, I talk about how it was really when I moved back to Texas in July of 2023 that I was just feeling like I was going through the motions and I wasn't feeling my best. And I found a job, and I was, again, like going through the motions, not really feeling like I was living up to my full potential, kind of reflecting on where I was in life and feeling like I was behind, even though I wasn't really sure what that meant or what I was even comparing it to. And then the next year, in 2024, that's when I started this writing experiment where I started journaling every single day. And through the writing, I have uncovered so much about myself and what I actually want and my desires. And that's led me to so many things in that year, including landing a dream collaboration with the company that I work for, Pen Gems, and then also taking this huge leap of faith where I didn't have a backup plan, but I just knew that everything was going to work out, and I put in my notice to leave my job without without anything else lined up, and I did that but had complete faith that things were going to work out in my favor. And that type of radical courage is what led me to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. It got me to where I am right now. So, my boss ended up asking me, to manage the social media for for the company that I work for, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I am getting the freedom to have time to work at my own schedule. I am able to work from home and then I go into the office just for a couple of hours each week, and I get to use my creativity and make content. And like, seriously, I was so grateful. Mostly, like, I was grateful to have the ability to work from home because I previously did not have that experience, and it was still foreign to me that people could work from home. Even though I know a lot of people kind of had that, especially 2020 is when things changed for everybody. But um yeah, so it led to that. And I just knew that everything was going to be okay. This was it was a transition for me for sure. I was not feeling like, I was like, I just have to go with it, take it one day at a time, and I did. And also, another thing, this is just a random manifestation that came up, but through my writing, I was writing about, I I was writing about specifically receiving $5,000, and I wrote about it. I don't even know how many times. I literally wrote a check, like I drew out a check with $5,000, and I think I did that in like July of that year, and then I got the check like right the week I was leaving. So I think that was in November, October, November. So like within a few months, like I got a random amount of money, um, unexpected, from an overpayment of a student loan, for a little over $5,000, and I was like, "What?" And then that led to me being able to pay off some debt, and then a, not even a couple months later, I went to an online 3-day event called Made for More Live, and at the end of, like, just being in that space with all these other entrepreneurs, first of all, it was like directly aiming at people who are creative entrepreneurs, soul led business owners, and artists, creators, all sorts of different fields, like energy workers, light workers, medical professionals, just everything. But specifically being heart led. And so just being in that space with these other people that I was just like, wow, when would I ever run into these people in the wild? Like, never, honestly, is the answer. But just being in that space with those people with that energy was just so electric. Just in that first day, I was able to like unlock something that I had been stuck on for like just like things in my business suddenly like clicked into place that made sense that I'd not had any movement on for like years. Like something as simple as knowing who my target audience is, or who my dream client is, or my like my dream avatar. I did not realize I was aim for trying to create products to please everybody, and therefore I was getting nobody. And so I got a clarity from that. And going through the second day, even more breakthroughs. And that's when they pitched this container called Radical Magic, which I am a part of. And had I not received that $5,000, I would not have been able to get into that container. Had I not taken the jump to leave my job, I would not have had the open schedule to attend this event. It was just like one thing after another, and I just absolutely knew that I had to be part of this. And so I did, I did. I tried my I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it work, but I did. I was able to, like I said, that money came in handy. It made it possible for me to even get the funding for this. And then that being saying yes to myself in that way was like a huge huge opening, a big expansive like hell yes to my soul. And I just kept following that. And I'm not saying that it was easy, because I definitely went through, there was a couple months, like I even remember the first month I was in this place, I was having a hard time just sitting in the Zoom meetings. um I can't quite explain it. Like, while it was like, ooh yeah, energizing and like, wow, amazing to be in this space with these other people, I just felt like, oh my gosh, like, who am I to be in this place with these people? But I really had to work through that, and I kept showing up, even with all of the doubts that I had. And I was like, no, I'm doing it differently now. I'm doing something that I know I'm meant to do. And I just kept following those breadcrumbs. And then a couple months later, um, I came across a YouTube video, and this is where I met Jess, and she is my coach. She works with women entrepreneurs and how to regulate your nervous system to so that you can run your business, because your nervous system is directly tied to like how much money you receive. And so I've learned so much with her. And that was another investment that I was like, how am I even going to make this work? I'm on like very limited funds. I already made this big chunk, invested into this other container. And I said yes, because I was like, I could say no, and then it would probably take me longer to get to the place that I want to be. But I just had to trust that everything was going to work out. And so, I joined. And this was another thing where it took me a little bit to be comfortable, even being in that space with these other people. And I'm just in a place now where I've had so much happen through this year that when I look back, I'm just like in awe, like, holy cow, the amount of growth and the amount of like the jump that I've made just is unbelievable to me sometimes. And it is all because I had the courage to say yes, even though these things were freaking me out and scary, that were freaking scary, because not only was I like doing something new, but I was also having to say bye to these old versions of myself. I had to stop these old patterns, the ones that were keeping me small. And that takes a lot. I just don't even have the words to explain like how difficult it is, because when you say yes to this, you're saying no to other things that have been holding you back. And I've gone through so much healing through this process as well, and deciding to show up on social media in the way that I do now, like more authentic, more aligned, is another form of courage, because it really is brave to put yourself out there, especially in this environment, like on the internet, like that's not something our nervous system feels is safe, because we want to be we want to be safe, we want to fit in, we don't want to stick out, those are things, like those are survival things, um, so doing that, sharing my stories, deciding to launch this podcast is another step that I took, because I'm like, it's just, I have to. I have spent so much of my life holding these things back, or like keeping them to myself, thinking like, and just letting it marinate in my brain and like in my body, and holding on to these things, that really, like, once I said them out loud, I was able to release them, and then come to find out, holy cow, there are other people who have gone through the same thing. And again, just going through, and each time I have that feeling of like, oh, that's uncomfortable, no, that doesn't feel safe, that doesn't feel okay, that is letting me know that there's something on the other side of this. If anything, it's like when something triggers me, it's like, what do I need to heal here or work through here in order to get to the other side? Because the more resistance that I have towards something, the bigger the breakthrough is what I have found. And so again, that's something that I feel like takes radical courage. It fucking feels shitty sometimes. Sorry for cursing. What? This is my podcast. Who cares? Like it's scary, and it doesn't always, especially, seem logical. You try to like rationalize or do that, and those things don't line up, but like your body and your heart is telling you like this is the way to go. And I don't want to say your body, because your body doesn't always, like, your body might still be in like, oh no, I'm not ready for that yet. But the more that you're able to connect with your spirit and listen to that, then when I do that, when I'm in that space, and I get there through journaling, through meditating, doing yoga, moving my bodies in ways that feel good, going for walks, recording myself talking into the voice recorder, making art. Those are all ways that I'm able to channel and like connect to spirit. And so I know that. And then being in nature is another thing. Like I always get these like messages and these signs, when I'm in that particular state. And so I really tried to prioritize doing as many things as I can that get me into that state where I am able to connect with my spirit, God, universe, source, however you want to describe it. Because it has always led me to the next thing, even if I wasn't able to, like, again, use my mind to rationalize and figure out what was happening. And that's the other part of like having this radical courage, is that you have to step into this into this place of like being, even if you're not, if you've not been there before. I don't know if I quite explained that exactly, but when you're able to just relax into it and be, you are in this frequency of receiving, and things line up for you in ways that you cannot explain, that you could not coordinate on your own. And it's just like, I've just seen it time and time again, where I'm just like, dude, there's no way that this is all random. There's no way that like I'm doing this on my own, because like I just know that like the universe always has my back, and things are always working out in my favor, and I just keep getting proof and evidence that that is the case. And when I focus on that, when I focus on gratitude, appreciation, and the good things that are happening for me, I continue to get more and more and more of it. And I'm not saying it's been easy this entire time, because it sure hasn't. And in the last episode, I talked about what happened with my dog, and then the week after that, I took a trip to Seattle, and that trip in itself was very like jarring to my nervous system, and I the astrology, all of the stuff that's happening in the world. Like I've really had to dig deep and trust myself and use all the tools that I have to regulate my nervous system and get myself back to this place where I'm like, I know I am fine, I am safe in my body, and that when I continue to do the things that bring me joy and delight and really let me savor the moment, like that's what I'm looking for in life. That's what reminds me that this is all why I'm doing everything that I'm doing, and that we do have so much more control of ourselves, our emotions, because we can choose how we react to things. And so I just keep doing these practices that get me in a place where I'm not reacting to things. I am responding is what I meant to say. But yeah, so that's just my little bit about radical courage, putting myself out there also by writing this chapter in this book. And I am now an international best-selling author. Yeah, we made number one in like 19 different categories as number one bestseller and in like 37 different new releases. So to put myself out there and for my nervous system to be like, oh, you suddenly have all these eyes on you. Oh, and also, did I mention? I don't know if I did. I did a drawing of Queen Herbie. She is my favorite artist. She released a new song, and I did a drawing of her from the music video. She saw it. She saw it. And she shared it to her stories, and then I got like 10,000 views on that piece of art. And so it was like that happened, the book, just a bunch of stuff back to back to back, and it was like the universe being like, this is a taste of what the new reality you have been asking for is going to look like. You're going to have eyes on you. You're going to have this. So are you actually ready for it? And so I've really been having to dig into all of the tools that I have, you know, doing all of the somatic exercises, really working with my breath to ensure that I'm feeling grounded, continuing with my art, being in nature, every single thing that I have to do, I am going to do to get myself there. And I had some moments where I was like feeling sorry for myself, and like I ended up getting like I tweaked my knee a little bit, and I was like, oh, what did I do? Because I went too hard, jumping back into workouts after like the hectic 3 weeks that I have where I haven't been working out, and I thought I could just jump back into lifting weights. Like, no, my body's like, no, that's not it. That's not it, girl. Like, are you just going to run on autopilot, or are you going to actually listen? And so I had to slow down. And did I learn my lesson? Not immediately, because 2 days later, I was like doing something, and then I did something, and my sciatica got, I don't know, I pinched something in my back, and so I was having sciatica pain down my left leg. And so I had 3 days of that. I'm on day 3 right now, and I feel so much better. But again, it's like, you got to listen to your body. Stop trying to do too much. And so I'm like, okay, okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. So I've reeled it back. I'm not trying to lift weights right now. I need to just ease back into it, stick with doing my low impact body weight only exercises, and that's fine. And I will get back up to the place where I can start lifting again. And I just have to trust myself, trust my body, listen to my body, and keep doing the things that are keeping me grounded, and also slowing down enough so that I can actually listen to what my body is asking for. And I can also tap into my spirit again, because it is so easy to get caught up in all of the things that are happening. I can tell you that I had a little bit of like, oh, but I need to keep working with the momentum of like having all of those views, and we just released the book, and da, 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 da. And I think that was what caught me up. And so now that I've taken a little bit of time and I've slowed a little bit down, I'm like, okay, we got this, let's get back, aligned to where we need to go, and then just take it one step at a time, and trust in that inner knowing that I have, and take these steps knowing that the universe always has my back, everything is always working out in my favor, and it is all good. So that is all for today, and I'll talk to you all in the next one. Okay, bye.